The restoration work being done by Ontario Streams in partnership with government and non-governmental agencies ranges from subtle to large scale. Projects which are quite literally transformative. Each project equally important to improving these aquatic habitats for not only local wildlife, but for us as well.
If we have a weakened stream system, lots of pollution or lots of problems, it can impact us in many ways. It reduces our recreational use. It increases cost for our municipalities. There's an increased cost to maintain those systems, not necessarily to even restore them, just to keep them safe. That water all reaches Lake Ontario, where we get our drinking water from, so that increases the cost of how much it is for us to treat that water to drink. It's all related.
Ontario Streams employ a variety of methods to counteract stream bank erosion caused by stormwater runoff.
Erosion is a natural process, but because of the storm flows, it's happening at a much faster rate than it should be. So we'll put in debris jams, so we'll try to put a lot of wood or smaller debris into a corner, which would happen naturally, but we will tie it in place so it doesn't move. We'll also do cabled log jams, which is the same thing, but it's a much heftier structure, which won't erode. We try to keep away from the old-fashioned crib walls and rock, because that's actually what that does is it speeds the water up past that structure and then causes erosion further downstream.
Streams are also subject to alteration to serve the purpose of containing stormwater runoff. The problem is, these structures, like this culvert, are never designed with aquatic species in mind. They're too shallow, and the drop structures make it too steep to allow fish to jump and swim up their natural migratory path. Ontario Streams remedied the situation by putting in a baffle system and a step pool fishway to make the water deeper and less steep, now allowing for proper fish migration. An engineered stretch of stream located in Newberry Park is currently the site of another restoration project, one that will improve migration routes for cold water fish species.
When this area was developed, a lot of drop structures were put into the stream by the engineers to dissipate the energy of the stream when it's flowed through after a storm. So what we're doing here is we're putting in step pool fishways so that the fish can actually jump up over these barriers. They used to be up to 1 meter or 1.5 meters tall, and now we're making them so they're about 20 centimeters maximum. We've been doing this barrier work since 1999. Since that time, we have seen a lot more species in these areas. Upstream of this area, I would say back 10 years ago, we saw very few species, but we are now seeing the mottled sculpin and a number of other species that are able to get up and over the barriers.
Newberry Park is also the site of a large-scale project that transformed a baseball diamond and soccer field back into a wetland habitat.
There were a lot of water issues because we are on the boundary of the Oak Ridges Moraine. There's a lot of upwelling from the groundwater, and it flooded the fields and made them unusable. So in partnership with the Ministry of Natural Resources and Richmond Hill, we've converted it into a wetland.
Ontario Streams has also been responsible for returning online ponds back into cold water stream systems.
So online ponds are ponds where the stream flows through the pond. What happens is most of the streams in York Region are supposed to be cold water streams. So they support species such as brook trout and other cold water species. So when the water flows through a pond, it tends to move very slowly and get very warm, and the oxygen levels get depleted. So downstream of that pond, the cold water species can no longer survive.
Every project completed by Ontario Streams and its volunteers is improving the health of both the stream and surrounding habitat. Doug says some of these positive changes can be seen in as little as 2 to 3 weeks.
We see larger numbers of fish, more diversity in the fish species. We also see a lot more shading, a lot less erosion on the banks. And in the riparian areas, which are the treed or forested areas along the banks of the river, we're seeing a lot more wildlife in those areas as well. We may have made a change that would affect, hopefully lower the water temperature, so we monitor for that. We monitor for benthic invertebrates, which are the small insects in the stream. That's an indicator of the stream health. We monitor for fish using electrofishing, and that tells us the population of the species that are there. And then we also will annually we do inspections on most of our structures that we've built to make sure that they're still stable and working the way they're supposed to be doing.